if I want to eat, but I ain't into throwing dirty laundry in the public. I can always make something out of nothing, cause I know how it was when it wasn't. Falling ships and murder that she wrote. Combination, always drink and smoke. Apathy could help the way I roll, cause I'm selective on how much I show. Time will tell, don't show me what I know. Know you have to only go for broke. You look good but act just like a hoe. You look good but I really want nothing but a good. If you're trying to show me substance, bring it on mine. I really want nothing but a good time. I really can't stress this enough. I always gotta keep it at a buck. I rather have money than lust, but I'ma look twice if she got a big butt. I have a hard time with trust. Hard time love is a new fine drug. It's okay, I'ma fill my cup. It's okay, I'ma still turn up. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. You love the dancing, you love the fight. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. I love the dancing, I love the night. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. You love the dancing, you love the fight. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. I love the dancing. I really want nothing but a good time. I ain't here for the fuck shit, paying no mind. If you're trying to show me substance, bring it on mine. I really want nothing but a good time. Why don't you just pull up, girl, to berry wine. You love the dancing, you love the fight. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. I love the dancing, I love the night. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. You love the dancing, you love the fight. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. I love the dancing, I love the night. Too high. I'm ready for a fight, never flight, but I wanna have fun all night. I could've took this girl if I wanted to, but I ain't into throwing dirty laundry in the public. I can always make something out of nothing, cause I know how it was when it wasn't. Falling ships and murder that she wrote. Combination, always drink and smoke. Apathy could help the way I roll, cause I'm selective on how much I show. Time will tell, don't show me what I know. Know you have to only go for broke. You look good but act just like a hoe. You look good but I really want nothing but a good time. I ain't here for the fuck shit, paying no mind. If you're trying to show me substance, bring it on mine. I really want nothing but a good time. I really can't stress this enough. I always gotta keep it at a buck. I rather have money than lust, but I'ma look twice if she got a big butt. I have a hard time with trust. Hard time love is a new fine drug. It's okay, I'ma fill my cup. It's okay, I'ma still turn up. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. You love the dancing, you love the fight. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. I love the dancing, I love the night. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. You love the dancing, you love the fight. Pull up, girl, to berry wine. I love the dancing. I really want nothing but a good time. I ain't here for the fuck.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Butterfly Blackout. I'm your host, Emily, along with Truth and Jeff. We are ready to get started. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. You were missed, Jeff. I know you had things to take care of and, responsibilities, whatever. Um, so much has happened. It was hard to figure out what to talk about. So the way this goes this week, we're just going to go from the most important to the one that was talked about the most, because I don't want to repeat what other people have said. But in light of recent developments with one story, I was listening to some other people's opinions, and I kind of want to tie that all together. Gotcha. But right now, what's on my mind is Georgia. Because Georgia just passed a new voter bill that people are upset about because it's discrimination against black people. Roland Martin said it on his show. I don't watch his show. I just happened to catch a clip of a 21-year-old man schooling Mr. Roland Martin. But since, Roland Martin is the poster child for the Democratic Party, he believes in the Democrats for everything. But he was talking about voter suppression in Georgia and how the new laws or the new rules basically affect all black people, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to prevent black people from voting. Mm-hmm. So let's examine this. Identification for absentee voting. So, the new law does away with signature matching to identify voters who cast absentee ballots. Instead, voters requesting an absentee ballot now will have to provide the number of their Georgia's driver's license number or state identification, along with other identifying information such as their date of birth and whatever. Those who lack those forms of identification can submit copies of other paperwork, such as a copy of a bank statement or a current utility bill. Voting rights groups say that this new requirement erects too many barriers. How? I'm confused. Over here in Jersey, if you want to renew your license, you have to have 6 points of identification. Okay? That's a pain in the ass. But they make us do it. Except for the pandemic, which they just said, screw that, do it by mail. I don't really see anything wrong with this. Because if they're saying you need an ID, many of you have an ID, but some of you are fussing because there's like about 200,000 of y'all that don't have a driver's license. So before the next election and you have time, isn't that enough time for you to go and get your state ID and call it a day? What is the problem? See, this is not to suppress black people. They want you to believe that this is to suppress black people. They want you to believe that the black person is the poster child for this, okay? Because it affects all black people. This has nothing to do with black people. Georgia's racist. It has nothing to do with black people. This identification for absentee voting is all about preventing illegals from voting. Has nothing to do with black people. Because you have enough time to get your state ID. Why don't you want an ID? That should be the question. In fact, if you're so busy protesting the laws of voting, then why are you not helping the citizens that don't have IDs get an ID? Don't y'all need IDs anyway? How are you walking life without an ID? If you're eligible to vote, then you should have an ID. Just go and get one. Now, there are a lot of you complaining, but many of y'all don't vote. So I don't even know why you're complaining. But hey, take it for what it is. There's something wrong with this. This right here just tells me you need to get a state ID. So you have enough time, get off your behinds, and go get a state ID. Now, if there's a problem with that, let me know. Because educate me, like Sharon Osbourne, the late Sharon Osbourne from The Talk. Educate me. She's not dead, but she's no longer on The Talk. So can you say the late?
Oh, did they finally get rid of her? Because I thought it was
she's gone.
Really? I didn't hear any news about that.
It really wasn't much to talk about. But she has been in the news, but, I mean, people are done. I mean, at this point, cancel culture is so big, you could blink and offend somebody, and they'll have you gone. CBS had no choice but to get rid of her. The heat was on. Okay? Back to Georgia. Now we're going to talk about long lines. Okay. So some places they were waiting 51 minutes or they were waiting hours to vote. Basically, long lines, what they're doing now is that they're going to extend. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
This is. Okay. The long line situation is that they don't want anybody to hand out water to people that are
Yes.
standing in line.
Yes.
All right. So the way to get around that is bring your own damn water and food. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Especially with times like this, COVID. Why the hell do I want to have something that you just passed me? I don't even know where you've been. Here's the thing. If you know you're going to go and vote and you got to stay in line, then don't you have a bag where you got snacks and stuff and y'all can't bring your own stuff? You're depending on somebody else to supply that for you? I'm confused. Educate me. Tell me what I'm missing here that y'all got a problem where you can't supply your own water bottle and food, snacks while you standing in line. Y'all, can somebody do it for me? Because I know over here, when I'm standing in line, ain't nobody giving me no water or giving me any chips. They're sitting there, well, you got to wait. And if you get out of line, you'll lose your spot. That's it. So while you're fighting for, the long line situation and the people who are not able to be served water and snacks and food, maybe you should take that energy, go to your locals and say, why don't we open up more polling areas? So we have more polling stations. Guess what? That will decrease the long lines, right? But again, you think this is about black people, and this has nothing to do with black people. This is just to prevent illegals from voting. Because if you don't have any rules set up, that means anybody can vote. And if you don't need an ID to vote, then what do we have IDs for? I'm just saying. But that's how you fix your long line situation. Take that energy and go ask them to open up some more polling sites so you don't have a long line. It's that simple. Now, provisional ballots. Previously, Georgia voters could cast provisional ballots if they showed up at the wrong precinct and their votes would still count once the Board of Elections determined that they had casted their ballots in the right county. Now, the new law tosses out all out-of-precinct votes cast before 5 p.m. So the lawsuit brought by the voting rights group argues that black voters are more likely than white voters to move frequently. As a result, they are more likely to change precincts and show up at the wrong one on Election Day. So let me ask you this. Election days are marked on the calendar. They don't really change. You know when you're supposed to vote. You know when you're getting ready to move. When you get your ballot in the mail, it tells you where you could drop off your ballot, right? So you're going to use the excuse that you moved as a way of saying that you can't read where to drop off your ballot. That ain't got nothing to do with anything. If you move to one town, take your ass over to the town you're supposed to be in and drop off the damn ballot. No, that's a sign that you're just being lazy. If everybody else can do it, why can't y'all do it? So basically here you're just telling me that y'all dumb. Right? Okay. Bans mobile units. Fulton County, where roughly 45% of the population is African American, bought RV-sized mobile voting units to encourage early voting and reduce long lines on Election Day. Now the law bans their use. This is not about black people. Again, this is about illegal immigrants because black people are the face of it, but they don't want illegals to be a part of that. Okay, they're trying to gain control over who votes because they don't want illegals. They only want citizens to vote. So that's why they need you to have ID so they know who the heck you are and not just a random person voting who's not eligible to vote. So if that means eliminating the bans, guess what? The mobile units, that means that you're going to have to go like everybody else to the polling site. Now, if you're so interested in having these mobile units, then have that same energy and get more polling sites. Over here, we use schools. Get more polling sites and put them in places where people can get to. It's that simple. Yes, you'll eliminate the lines. That's just an idea. Voting hours and drop boxes. So, the law specifies that early voting hours must run from 9 to 5, but it gives county registers the flexibility to extend the hours from 7 to 7. The law now requires officials to house drop boxes for absentee ballots inside early voting locations, which limits their usefulness. Voting advocates argue that black voters are more likely to work multiple jobs than Georgians of other races, and limiting their access to drop boxes closes off yet another avenue to the franchise. So, the state of Georgia encourages employees to exercise their right to vote in all federal, state, and local elections and has developed guidelines to allow employees to request time off for doing so. Employees who meet certain guidelines may not only be granted time off, but also paid leave to vote. So are you all going to tell me that y'all know when to vote? You're at work. Do you have an employee handbook? In a handbook, it should have a section called voting rights, where your employer allows you maybe 2 hours to leave so you can go vote. It says right here that the state of Georgia encourages employees to exercise their right to vote. So before, not the day of, you're ready to go vote, you have that conversation and remind your employer that, listen, you know the lines are long. I don't get out of here until the polls close. So do I have the right to go and vote, to leave early and go vote? Then you ask, do I get paid? Or do I have to take time off? How'd that work? Okay, because you should know that already. So if they're saying that you get time, then what is the problem? Then take your 2 hours and go vote. Maybe it's just me. So, it's time for the truth. Jeff, truth, which one you want to?
Go ahead. You want to take it?
All right. I agree with you. I believe, unfortunately, it will affect some black folks, but not all. But I want to remind people that black people are not the only race that are not in a position of power. I want people to understand that, stop having the wool pull over your eyes, and you think black people and the brown people are the most individuals who are on welfare. False. Yes, they're getting rid of some, and you knew Trump was going to do something on his way out, and this is it. Part of his complaints about false voters and all this other stuff, and him challenging stuff, and this is their way of telling Trump, we understand and we believe you. We want to start this now and make sure we get it right before next time we go at next 4 years when Pamela's in the office, because what's his name? Can't remember his name. And we'll go that way. It truly is. It truly is. So that's how I feel about it. Unfortunately, we are victim culture. Anything and everything that ever happens is because we're black. Now, as far as the job situation, it's easy to say that, but there are a lot of jobs that do not follow the rules and regulations of the labor board under any circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And at the end of the day, if you are living check to check, which most of America is, you don't have the freedom to take those 2 hours when your boss is saying if you clock out, you might as well stay home, and you're not going to get the same amount claiming unemployment. So there are a lot of jobs that will strong arm a lot of their employees. So yes, we will lose some votes over the course because of this. But I agree with you again. The main part is you won't have people who aren't in this country legally voting to pad anybody's numbers, whether it's Democrat or Republican. Yeah, Jeff.
Shout out to Corey. You got to watch it here. Corey, thanks for watching.
Alyssa, she's in there too.
Oh, yeah, Alyssa. Oh, yeah, I thought I was looking at you earlier. Hey, what's up, Alyssa? So here's the deal. To piggyback off of what Truth was saying, yes. There's probably, you just said they encourage. The language used in that law was encouraged. I don't know if they're going to be forced they force the employers to allow the people off for the 2 hours. 2, that contradicts the long line effort. If your line is longer than 2 hours, which most people would need some type of refreshment after 2 hours in a hot Georgia heat.
And you bring your own refreshment.
Whoever brings it. See, the thing about it being free or provided by the Democrats or the Republicans, whoever wants the lesser, it's a poor people thing. And unfortunately, black people were poor in Georgia. It's about the non-payment because there are 2 sides of Georgia. You either rich or you poor. Ain't no in between. You got to remember, to go across to another town, that's like you driving to Newark from here every day.
And that's
Everything
why
is
you have
far
lawmakers. And the lawmakers that
But
you put into office should be the
Yes.
ones to sit there and request polling sites that are easily accessible.
So you can't get lawmakers into office when you do these things. That's the trick. Yeah, get a new lawmaker in, but to do the lawmaker, you got to jump through all these hoops. And then when you get those people who are easily discouraged, I'm not going to wait 3 hours. I'm not going to sit.
So
out
how
and
did
eat.
how
I'm
did
not gonna do
Representative
this.
Park Cannon become a lawmaker?
Park Cannon? Go ahead, explain.
Okay, well, she's a Democratic state representative and a black woman. They want you to know this. Who was knocking on Kemp's door after the Georgia State Police troopers instructed her to stop.
Okay.
Then she got arrested. They think this is an atrocity against a black woman, especially a lawmaker who obviously, it seems to me, the cops didn't know who she was. So I'm not sure how powerful she is if the cops didn't even know who she was.
A lot
All
of
right.
cops don't know the people in power.
And they're not going to. All he said was to stop knocking, and if you do it again, something would happen. So you got arrested. He told you to stop. Here's the problem. A lot of our people do what? If a cop says one thing, they keep doing something thinking that nothing's going to happen. There are no repercussions. Now y'all mad. Oh, let her walk because they was dragging her. She stopped walking. So if you're going to stop walking and you're going to let them drag you, that's on you.
But
But here's the thing.
Go
You
ahead.
sit over here, you knocking and knocking and knocking. What are you going to do about these laws? Here's my issue.
what's your issue?
We've been talking about this year after year after year after year. And you had a whole entire black president for 8 years. You've been talking about this for year after year after year after year. And you mean to tell me that the poor people of Georgia still have to wait in long lines to go vote? You mean to tell me after all these years, nobody, no matter who you put in office, no matter who the lawmakers are, whoever your representatives are, nobody saw fit to make sure that the poor people had more places to go and vote, so that they didn't have to go 5, 10, 50 miles to go vote?
Yeah, nobody.
Nobody. So
Because that's the point of what they're arguing about. You can't change that when I'm the smarter person. It's a chess game. So you're gonna come in and you're gonna fight like her. You're gonna knock on my door. You're gonna do this, and I'm gonna use the laws that already exist, meaning these long lines. I get to write you out, and until you replace me, but you can't replace me because you got to get to these laws. They'll never be changed. And when my predecessor comes and takes my place, he gonna do the same thing. And the new one to take you gonna do the same fight too. I understand what you're saying. It's a hard thing. There's no easy solution because Georgia is a really red, complete state. I don't care what they are, blue now. That what's the lady's name? Stacey Abrams, who was trying to change everything. That's why she's on a constant fight. Cause she can't go nowhere. Technically, the moment she moves, you might as well go ahead and change it all back to red. We're gonna get rid of them 2 senators. Don't you worry about a thing. It's a hard uphill battle, especially for that place. Why are you sitting outside? Do you understand? They still got Jim Crow laws that are allowed there. They still have segregation of high schools. In that
Facts.
no joke, no exaggeration. Whole family is down in Georgia. There's places you still can't walk. On the books. On the law. Like, we got you. Like jaywalking laws.
there are laws like
It's
that
crazy.
everywhere, and a lot of people
So
are
why haven't we
arrested.
changed them? Because they don't want them to be changed. Because we can automatically bring you up when I want to get you.
Well,
when I
that's
want to
the-
get you. That's the setup. That's how they doing it here. Why wouldn't you get? Come on. Why you look at that up here in New Jersey? I don't even show my ID to get a thing. Now every state has their own rules.
Every
for,
state has their own rules. Yes.
But that's okay. But that's why everybody was like, forget that. Let's do a federal rule. Nobody wants to do that because you can't. Then then the laws would change completely.
Right.
Nobody want to do that because then I'm not in control.
But then at the same time, we don't want it to be a federal law because then the problem that we're having right now with illegal immigrants, it's going to be a problem.
Don't matter. No, because
It is.
No, we're going to make it real simple. You need a passport. Can illegal immigrants get a passport? They can get driver's license in states, but they cannot get a passport yet.
They will
And I'm
probably
saying
change
yet.
that so they can.
I'm saying yet. But here's my point. But as of now, they can't. So everybody got to get a passport. So everybody go and get your passport. Now you.
So you're saying in Georgia too, everybody go get a passport. Y'all just out here made a fuss about identification and not having licenses and taking all this time to get a state ID. Now you want to sit here and tell me that they're okay to get a passport. If you can't get a state ID, then you're going to make a big fuss about getting a passport.
It's handled, but I'm saying if we have a federal rule and it's handled by a federal thing, now you have your federal ID for that federal rule instead of the state rule, which is going to change from state to state. Or even county to county and in those areas. It's very hard.
It's not my fight in Georgia. We have representatives.
No.
And here's what people have to understand about this. You have to accept, and it's not saying it's right, it's wrong. Your back is against the wall. They own all the cards. They run all the rules. They have the game is rigged. It's Vegas. It is that way for a reason. The reason why everybody who was in power is from the back in the days when our ancestors were still getting whipped and dragged. That's who is in Congress right now. That's who's helping passing all these laws, legislation. All them dudes is 70 and better. Mm-hmm. They grew up with those rules and those regulations, so it's okay to them. If you want to change it, you'll start over like it should be. Start from scratch. Start from scratch. Tear up that Constitution where it says we're less than a human being.
There was a question posed to you, and I took the liberty to answer. They asked, do you feel yourself as a right-wing conservative?
No, I actually...
right-wing show, excuse me.
Huh?
Sorry, right-wing show. She wanted to know, is this a right-wing show?
No.
Okay, I said no.
We go all over the place.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to say no. But
no, this is not a right-wing show. We are all over the place.
I don't want to put words in nobody's mouth.
Everybody can get it. You missed it when I got on Trump. Shoot. I wanted to listen. I'm still trying to get Trump to listen. Trump, I want to interview you because I have questions. Mainly because I just needed to know the thought process behind your campaign and why you ain't fired your campaign manager. And what made you think he was really going to win. And then this talk of 2024. And, Biden said he missed you.
Yo, he's doing a social app. He's doing an app.
I know. I just want to interview him so bad because I just need to know, why. Biden, I would love to interview you, but, you have people's names on the cards and you pre-picked them, so you ain't going to pick me because you ain't going to like my questions. I didn't vote for you, by the way. With good reason. Y'all saw the man on stage. Does that not worry anybody?
Didn't he just get hurt? Nobody said anything? And I'm not talking about the trip on the stairs when he went up.
I didn't find that funny, and I know people laughed at that and had remixes, but I didn't, even from the right. I didn't like how people were making fun of him for that. I'm just like, we can't do better. We don't have to make fun of people. And they're trying to say, well, because if Trump did something, they would have been on him like, does he have a mental issue? Blah, 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 blah. No, I think we could do better. Rise above the occasion. Anybody could fall, and hurt themselves. So that wasn't a laughing matter. I am concerned about, because there were moments in when he was talking to the press, where he was shouting, and I'm not sure why he felt the need to shout. I don't think he's 100%. I said that for a long time.
Question, did you hear the new mumbling speech, though? I think that was the one you did shouting. He literally went off mumbling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think he's all right. I think he's a puppet being abused and used for an agenda that's not all Democrats' agenda. If you even watch the press house briefings and all this other stuff, you'll notice less people watch it than when they did when Trump was in office.
Of course.
Here's the thing. We have a whole entire situation with the migrants coming in. Biden doesn't take questions from the press. During the press, conference, he said that he would let the press in when he's ready, and he doesn't know when that will be. That should alarm you, because that, in other words, means that he doesn't know because they didn't tell him when, because he has handlers, and he's waiting for them, or unless if it's Kamala Harris who's going to do it. But here's the thing: you have these kids coming in because you said that you weren't turning away kids. So if I'm a parent and I know you're not going to turn away my kid, of course I'm going to send my kid on this journey. What you were supposed to do was take those kids, put them on a bus, and say, "Where's your home?" and take their asses right back. That's what you were supposed to do. In a perfect world, that's what you're supposed to do. See, and this is another reason why I want to talk to Trump, because his slogan should have been "Make Americans First." Not discrediting immigrants, because many of the immigrants that come here, they're now citizens. Illegals, come on. If we commit a crime, we get in trouble. Y'all commit a crime, y'all get put up in hotels. Come on. It doesn't make any sense. But here we are again with the whole situation at the border, but nobody really wants to call it a crisis. Here you are with the press asking every single day. Nobody wants to press anybody with any hard questions. You have the president who got to handpick who he called on because he wants easy questions, because he can't handle the hard questions. Then you had stupid questions like, are you running for next term? It's only been damn near 3 months because your predecessor announced. I don't give a crap about what Trump said. We're talking about Biden. He ain't running again. The man is stumbling too many times. You already calling it Biden-Harris administration. It's not the Biden administration. It's the Biden-Harris. It's going to be the Harris administration in a couple of weeks.
She has been doing a lot of more interviews, if anybody's paying attention.
So, I mean, what do you think is going to happen? As a Democrat, and I'm a registered Democrat, as a Democrat, you should be pissed off that you were hoodwinks. Why? Because you were lied to. Because they did everything they could to get you to vote Biden. They even handpicked Harris to secure the black vote, right? But who are you really voting for? You should be pissed off, because that means that the Democrats played with you. You want people to be honest and transparent. They talk about the Biden-Harris team is supposed to be transparent. It's all about transparency, but yet he can't give you a definitive answer on the border. He hasn't even gone down. You're talking about kids. Kids. You're not even testing everybody for COVID. But you want to test all of us and give us rules. But what about them? Again, if our president, you came into the country, I ain't turning you away. It's real simple. Catch and release. Okay. Yes, you get their names. You who the translator? You on this trip. Yeah, he gonna go the next trip. Everybody on a bus. Trust me, it took you a long time to get here, but we'll get you home quickly. Just let me know where you live. And they're going to take you, drop you off. Your parents are going to be looking crazy. We done told you, don't bring them over here. And if we have to give you a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the way, go right ahead. But as President of the United States, my main concern are the citizens of this country. I can't do for you until I have done for them. Until I know that every American is okay. Until I know that you're no longer starving. Until I know that you can pay your bills. Until I know that you're not being evicted. Then, once I know y'all good and about the majority of you are back to work, then I can deal with y'all at the border. But for right now, you come over here, you going right back. And depending on from where you came from, I might just charge your country for the fee, transportation fee. Okay? I don't care who you know in this country. That's not my problem right now. My problem is the fact that I have unemployment. The problem is that I have kids who are not in school. I don't know if they're being abused at home. I don't know the status. Okay? I have people who are about to lose their apartments. These are my focus. I have people who are still sick. Okay? I have people who are talking about changing our children's genders. Listen, I have a lot of stuff on my plate as president. Right now, you coming over here and seeking asylum, it ain't the time. And I told y'all what the situation was. You didn't understand me the first time. Now you're going to feel my wrath. Take their asses back home. All right? Document that. Now, if you keep messing with me, some of y'all might find yourselves in the middle of a pit somewhere. I really don't care. Does that make me insensitive? I don't care because my focus is the American people. We want to be everybody else's problem solver, but we can't solve nothing going on in the United States of America. I'm sorry. Did we stop police from killing black folks yet? Now we're all about Asian hate. Was we concerned when Asians were over there being disrespectful to the Africans?
Did you speak on that last week?
No.
I wasn't here. I'm asking.
So I'm saying it. So what are we talking about here? All right? My focus as president, Biden's focus as president. Mind you, how many bills for COVID relief and all that money went to who? It wasn't really going in your pockets, but it's your money. He's taking about $80 million and putting illegals, migrants up in hotels. That's your money. That should have gone back to you. Okay? But hey, what do I know? Call me right, call me left, whatever. I'm going to call it for what I see it. Okay? I said before, if Biden gets in office, Biden-Harris, you stay on their necks. The first thing he's going to do is sign an executive order for Asian hate.
I got a question.
So when he signed the executive order for Asian hate, don't you think you got to prove that there's really Asian hate going on? So now you have to hire actors to start hating on Asians so that you can prove why you signed this executive order. Pay attention. It's real. Yes, I said what I said. You have to hire people to do stuff so that way people can see what's going on.
Is saying end all hate instead of saying stop Asian hate the new I'm trying to correlate it to black people's lives matter? No. White people's
Asian
lives
lives matter?
All lives matter? Yeah. Is that the new, anti-Asian shit? I guess they would consider it anti-black. You see what I'm saying? Like you see
We haven't. The problem in this country is we haven't solved the black problems yet. And we're already just focusing on Asian issues. And it's anything but. You'll do anything but solve anything black related. Goes back to Georgia. Y'all could have solved Georgia's issues a long time ago. You had an entire black president for 8 years. Let that sink in. I don't care how much he went up against. You had an entire black president for 8 years. You had 2 years of a controlled Congress ran by Democrats. Y'all could have done a lot, but you failed to do so because you don't want to. Okay?
What's good, Joe?
But far be it from me. Now moving on to Lil Nas X and the devil. So a lot of Christians and people are upset about this. I have a different take on it. So Lil Nas X, Old Town Country Road, like the country singer, he was with, was it Garth Brooks? No.
Billy Ray Cyrus?
Billy Ray Cyrus, okay? Because they didn't want to think of him as country, and it was a whole big thing. And little kids, they all love that Old Town Road song. So naturally, they see Lil Nas. They're not really concerned that he's gay or anything like that. And neither should you, because it has nothing to do with him being a musician. So they like his song. My son likes his song. Now he came out with a new song, Call Me By Your Name. Now, if you listen to it, you'll be like, all right, this is whatever. But he came out with the visuals. So, I think he's looking at Ear of the Devil.
That's the good part we can show.
That was the good part. I had Jeff watch.
That's the only good, yeah. Jesus Christ.
And his mouth was wide open. So, what's the problem? People are wondering, is he promoting gay sex to youth? Is he worshiping the devil? Why is this video allowed and not banned when there are people who make videos speaking about God and then they get banned? You see this man who's clearly embracing his feminine side, sliding down a stripper pole, grinding. He gets into a very sexual position with the devil. He's grinding on the devil, and he alludes to having sex with the snake. It was like a Garden of Eden type of thing when God made Adam and Steve. And then he eventually kills the devil and becomes the devil himself. Well, this is what he says. There was no system involved. I made the decision to create the music video. And this was in response to a critic who accused him of setting a bad example to his younger fans. He said, I am an adult. I am not going to spend my entire career trying to cater to your children. That is your job. Pause. Remember when Charles Barkley, they got on him saying that he's supposed to be,
Not a role model.
a role model. And he was like, I'm nobody's role model. I actually agree with him. Because as a parent, you decide what your kids watch. And you have to monitor and be present. Show the heck up in your children's lives. If you're watching this and you notice your kids are watching it, then you turn it off and you say you can no longer watch it. It's called parenting. That's not his job. That's your job. So for anybody to criticize this man, young man, for what he does, shame on you. How about you buckle down and just become a parent and do what you're supposed to do and just tell your kids no? It's that simple. No kid should be idolizing anybody, okay? Except for their mother, father, whoever it is that's raising them. Who cares about what celebrities do? They're there for entertainment. Exactly. Entertainment. So let him entertain his audience. And he's clearly entertaining his gay audience. If that's what they like and that's what they want, so be it. But you don't have to let your kids watch. So stop trying to pay him to be somebody's role model when he clearly is not. Now, in a tweet, he commented, there is a mass shooting every week that our government does nothing to stop. Me sliding down a pole is not what's destroying society. I agree. Again, it's not for everybody. There are plenty of audiences. I feel like Lil Nas X is really catering to his gay audience. In fact, I feel like this just paved the way for more, am I saying it right? Because I keep saying gay. More LGBTQ entertainers to come out and be free to do what they want to do expressively. Okay? I don't have an issue with that because if that's your audience, that's your audience. If that's how y'all want to be and behave and act, then go right ahead. Everybody is a creative. Everybody can do what the heck they want. I am not judging not a damn person because I'm not a judge. Okay? We all live. We will all die. Dust to dust, ash to ash, dirt to dirt, whatever. Okay? But what he's saying is right. We have other problems than to sit here wondering or worry about this man down a stripper pole. Half of y'all are jealous because you can't do what he did down that damn stripper pole. That's a lot of upper body strength, sir. I don't have. But I was watching. I'm just saying. Okay? Same thing with Cardi B and what's her name? Meg Thee Stallion. They're up here grinding Punani, bumping and grinding on CBS. CBS. The same CBS that hosted Touched by an Angel. Remember that show? I'm just saying. The same CBS that had a problem with, what's her name? Janet Jackson's boob being exposed. You know what? We grow. Every season is different. We're coming into a new time when at 8 o'clock at night, for the younger audience, you just have to turn off the TV and take your behinds to bed. This is adult time. It's becoming where regular TV is now cable TV. Remember, you had the cable TV and you couldn't watch it at night because it had nasty stuff on. Well, now regular TV is experimenting with that, and that's pretty much what this all is. If you have a problem with it, turn it off. You know what their songs are. Now, if you're a parent and you got upset at the performance of, I want to say, he may actually end up performing this on stage and grinding just like he did in the video. If you saw the video, know what the song is about and what he did. You saw Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, you know what the song is about and you know what they did in the video. And you let your children listen to the songs, then that's on you. You have no right to sit there and get upset because of what they do on TV. Because you let your kids listen to the song. If you're not paying attention to what the words are and what they're listening to, then shut the hell up. It's that simple. Now, Lil Nas X also released, when he released the video, he also shared a letter to his 14-year-old self. I know we promised to never come out publicly. I know we promised to never be that type of gay person. I know we promised to die with the secret, but this will open doors for many other queer people to simply exist. Now, I thought y'all was already existing, but I guess y'all needed some more motivation. He also said, you see, this is very scary for me. People will be angry. They will say I'm pushing an agenda, but the truth is I am. The agenda to make people stay the F out of other people's lives and stop dictating who they should be. This is where I disagree.
Okay.
Sir, nobody wants to get in your life. Nobody cares about the LGBT's personal business. But for whatever reason, because we don't care, you guys care more. Okay? I don't want to be in your life, but you always try to make me a part of your life. Probably because I don't ask questions, because I don't care. What you do behind closed doors, what you do behind closed doors. If you want to grind on a pole, you grind on a pole. Don't they have Logo TV or whatever it's called now? They had Logo TV that used to have Noah's Ark. It was a 30-minute comedy dramedy about gay men and relationships. I actually was a fan of that show because it was a good Ian Polk, very good writer. Okay? Him being gay has nothing to do with it. He's a very good writer. He also wrote the finale for Being Mary Jane. The man is listen, to be in a room with him, okay, if you're into writing, big deal. The show itself had 2 seasons and a movie. It was done brilliantly. It was really good. Even if you're not into the lifestyle, it's not so much the lifestyle. It's a real story. You know what I mean? You could follow it and like really enjoy it. There were some comedic moments, some serious moments, but the chemistry with the men, the actors, really, really good. Spot on. I look for stuff like that. Okay, so I can say I enjoyed it. I was a fan. I'm still a fan. But what you do behind closed doors and entertainment, 2 different things. We don't want to be in your personal life and what you do behind closed doors as long as you're not touching little kids. Just saying. But that's on you. But to bring it out to the open and forcing me to accept you because you like to have sex with men, I'm not in your bedroom. I don't care. That's what you all need to understand. We, the cisgenders, don't care what you do in your bedroom. But for whatever reason, y'all want us to care. So, I would love to stay out your life. Then, shut the hell up. Keep private. What you do on here, fine. My son was a fan, not anymore. I'm not going to let him watch this. It's disgusting to me because I know that he is, no, not for him. When he gets older, he researches and he sees that. Listen, you're not a role model, but kids be watching you. So if you're going to make that transition, then make it very, very clear what you are about. Here was a person who had an opinion about this. He said, I don't think it's possible for me, a 41-year-old gay man, to overstate just how monumental it was to see a 21-year-old gay man express his sexuality on exactly the same terms and at the same level of fame, success, and media attention his straight counterparts have enjoyed for decades. I totally understand how some of you gay people feel because you've seen heterosexual this and that, mom, dad, you know, straight sex, if that's what we're calling it. Yes, straight sex or whatever, and you feel slighted because you're not being represented. And we always talk about representation matters. Then they came up with a network called Logo where they house a lot of dramas and stuff like that for gay people so you can feel represented. But you guys want to take it the extra mile, make, you know, history and put yourselves out there on CBS and everything else. Like, oh, this is the first gay character. You guys got excited when Helen came out as gay, but I don't think anybody... I remember on her show, I don't recall even thinking of her being gay. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But apparently at the time, I was younger. It was a big deal. She came out of the closet and she said that she was gay. Now, if you're going to come out the closet and say that you're gay, then are you going to have a gay lover? Like, where are we going with this? If you're just doing it to come out, then what's the point? Like, give me a story. What are we doing? Okay, so you like to sleep with girls. Okay, so, again, many of us are like that. We don't care. If that's the story, go ahead. But I don't think that a gay person has to be included in every TV show and every piece of work. I mean, commercials, now they're having transgenders. They're having all the alphabets because you guys got a lot of stuff going on. Everybody is being represented in almost every commercial. Is that necessary? Really not. Now they have biracial kids with biracial families. It's not necessary. I think a lot of times we make it a bigger deal than what it has to be. So Lil Nas X, did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you like the message? Are you okay with him being free and out there wild? Do we even care?
Oh, you ready?
Yeah, moment of truth. You want me to say that?
No, I thought you were going to say it.
I saw your facial expression. I don't know. Well, I saw your mouth when the snake licked him.
Yeah. So it's two issues. You boarded on representation. To you, it doesn't matter. Should representation ever mattered?
No.
Theoretically,
Representation
no.
matters. It doesn't matter about your sex. Like, I don't care about you being gay.
No,
that doesn't matter.
We're talking about representation, period. So
Yeah.
black person on TV or white people on TV or a homosexual person on TV, whatever you trying to represent, should it have ever mattered?
It should matter.
But
Let me hold on before you finish.
Shoot.
It should matter because it was a commercial about that new drug for HIV. So if you
the
take
Victardin.
it basically is a cure. They don't want to call it a cure, but it's a cure. So your levels are so low, you can have unprotected sex and you ain't spreading nothing to nobody. What I didn't like about it was that the face of it were black gay men.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're a gay male, you should be pissed off about that. Why did you have to be the face of it? Speak up. Because anybody can have HIV. That's just not a black gay man situation. I'm sorry. Y'all must have missed me with that.
You did. On that, that's an advertisement sell because if we were children.
Wow, gay men, y'all like that?
No. Truth is old enough to know more than he's older than us. In the 80s, that was the whole sell. Sex was, and AIDS was a gay disease. Even Reagan came out, AIDS was a gay disease. That's why they didn't get to it till late, and they thought it was only a gay men's thing. That's how they're selling it back too, because the people who believe that are still alive, the older folks, and that's exactly in a marketing thing. That's exactly how they structured that one to it. Just for that one, it's sad. But
Go ahead. I mean, like, it's not my
sad,
fight
but
because
true.
I'm not.
just saying.
This is your fight. If you want me to fight it, I'm ready to go there because I was offended and I'm not gay. I just didn't like the way y'all was using my folks trying to say what exactly. I took it the wrong way. And if it's not meant to be taken that way and I shouldn't be upset, then let me educate me. But I was offended. I'm just saying. I was offended for y'all because y'all should have spoken up and said something. To hell, you putting their faces out there like they the ones having gay sex all the time, getting HIV every single day. Like, who does that?
That was the whole sell.
Go ahead. What you gonna say about Lil Nas X?
Anyway, okay, that was the whole sell. So representation. Two things about representation. If it matters or not, you can't say it doesn't matter or we shouldn't do one part of it. And then say we need this piece of it. Either it's all or nothing. So I get it in any form. Whatever way it takes, whether it be Asians, blacks, gays, whatever, the LGBT crew, the transsexual crew, whatever you want to spice in there, throw it in there. This here, they get over on the entertainment. That's why that thing hasn't been flagged. Because it's entertainment. He's an entertainer.
Yes.
That's why it hasn't been flagged. Because the moment I put a picture of you grinding on me like he did the devil, oh God, parental content. Oh, you can't see.
You
this
can't
on
mark it as
18,
entertainment. And
whatever it is.
We have
No,
music
'cause
that we own. So I'm sorry, you own. So you can't. It's a music video.
Yeah, we have to sell it under that guise, but we can't just do a regular video. Hey, Butterfly got up on me one day and just wanted to grind like Lil Nas X to see if it could be done, just to see how it is. Whatever it was.
Do you want it? Because I mean, your face, you're like,
oh God, stay with me on this one. Don't go left. Stay
okay,
with me.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. You go on at the moment. They get away with the entertainment spiel. I get he wanted to come out. He wanted to put a preference so other people can live their outside truths and to the world. But how much is too much or flamboyant? Or how much becomes offensive?
offensive to
point.
who?
Anybody. If I sell this in the middle of America, this is offensive. Where a lot of people, if I sell this to a Christian, this is offensive.
But
If I sell
Christians
this-
wouldn't be watching this though.
It's on YouTube.
It
If
doesn't
I'm
matter. They wouldn't
skimming,
be watching
If
it.
the algorithm throws it to me, and I'm like, why is this black guy dressed up in nails and pink hat, and then all of a
But
sudden
we can't
he's
think
doing
that
this?
way because, again, if I'm not watching it, I don't care. See, this
No,
is
no,
the
I
thing.
can turn off. Your point was
Yeah.
I can turn it off.
Yes.
So if I look over and I see it, I can turn the other way.
Change
Fair
the
enough.
channel.
Fair enough. But it's entertainment, so it's allowed to be there. You have the people there who don't want it to exist at all. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist. I'm just saying be mindful that you can be offensive and while trying to get your point across. If his point with this was to live his true self, or whatever he was alluding to in his tweet, or was it a tweet or a text or
Yeah,
whatever
tweet.
it was, out there about himself, and he did. He reached to that 41-year-old or whatever it was.
Okay.
I get you, but be mindful. Some of the things you can do can be taken offensively by other people, unfortunately. I mean, this one, until he started grinding on the devil, I was just like, okay, bro, how much is entertainment and how much was I want to push the envelope just to piss people off?
A lot of people push the envelope, and we've seen over decades people pushing the envelope. But again, it's entertainment purposes. If you don't like it, turn it off. I'm not going to stifle anybody's creativity. He has an audience. He wants to cater to that audience. Then go ahead, let your audience see it. But as a parent, because we're talking about the kids, it's your job to protect your kids. It's your job to say you can't watch this, take your little behind to bed. That's it. He's not a role model. He's not trying to be a role model. As far as Charles Barkley, he doesn't
just-
want to be
no,
one.
He just alluded to being a role model when he put that out there. I want other people to come out so they can live their truths. If that was the ending part,
That's not
I'm
being a
taking
role
your
model.
word
That's
of it.
him paving a way
That-
for
that's
other people like him.
that's-
The
that's-
LGBTQ.
That's being a role model. That's
How
being
is that a role model?
To the other people like him so they can pave their way. If Martin Luther King came out and said, yo, I only want freedom for blacks but for myself, fuck them other niggas. It's different. It's
Okay.
so, but
So
but-
he's a role model, but he's a role model to the gay
Exactly.
population.
Exactly.
He's not a role model to his to his little kid fans, the kiddies. He's not trying to be a
Right.
role model to these little people who really shouldn't be listening to his music. But then again, at the same time, sir, you was out of school dancing to your song with these kids. It's
Well, that was Old Town Road. That wasn't this one where he's talking about I want to do you and call me your name and all this other stuff.
I don't know. Like
that was Old Town Road. That was when he was just wanted to be country.
This is
so he no longer country?
No.
all right. Well, people have to understand
No.
about this. I mean, he was a country in the first place.
Yeah, he never
First,
was.
first things first. We go back to remembering who this country's ran by.
So then who the heck was he? Why was he upset when they didn't want it? You know what? Go ahead, Truth. I'm sorry. I'm about to get upset. Go ahead.
We got to remember who this country's ran by, where we can see two women kiss and rub up on each other, but the moment it's two men, it's gross, it's horrifying. Ill, get that out of here, because it's run by heterosexuals. Now they'll give the alphabet community certain vices and stuff like this, but you have to remember, from a music standpoint, he is his brand, that is his business. Any black man that has come out as being gay, career has suffered. Ask Freak Ocean. That Novocaine hit and it was exploded everywhere. It was all about women this, women that, and then he thought it was the right time to come out and let everyone know that he loves men. Career went into the toilet immediately. So, from this guy's standpoint, this is a business move. Now, I know I'm not going to sell records like I normally would, so what am I going to do now? I'm going to shock you. We're sitting here talking about this gentleman now grinding the devil. Like we said, what was it, 19 million views? Or how many million views was it? And
That was
what?
like 13 million.
Yeah, in a short period of time. Where you
Okay.
think that money goes? To his pockets.
Not all of it.
When YouTube, all that stuff.
got
It goes
fees.
to his pockets. The streams, people want to hear the song. They want to hear the lyrics. They're listening to it over and over again. This is a genius move. All this was started by Soulja Boy back in the days. He started this social media craze.
Go ahead, Soldier Boy. Get your flowers.
So at the end of the day, this is how this gentleman is going to live his life, by shocking America, making you watch his product, making you put his name in your mouths, even though you don't want to, because he's talking about grinding, taking it, and giving it, which a lot of these super heterosexuals don't want to hear. But we're sitting here discussing, and we're putting money in his pocket while we do it. So this is how this gentleman is going to make his money. You think this is just the tip of the iceberg? It's going to get worse than this, because he's not going to get rid. When the last time you heard, other than that old time, when have you ever heard his songs on the radio? Never.
Yeah, after the second one.
Never. So again, this is the only way he's going to make his money. And as far as the whole blackface community, I say this. For those actors who did it, it's their job. They're probably not gay. You have a lot of people who does a lot of things that are not like that lifestyle, but I'm an actor. I need a gig. I need a paying gig. Would you want me to go for crabs? Sign me up. I'm good. I'm going to do this commercial. But again, at the end of the day, the powers that be always want to give you the perception that they want to give you. Yeah. And it's all about, again, we talked about it before. Majority of people on welfare are white. They're not black. They're not brown. They're not foreigners. We're nowhere near. They're like 85%. But again, when you hear welfare, you think black, brown. True. So they want you to believe a specific perception. Like, we can see Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion bump coochies, but we don't want to see this man rub a person's lap. Perception. It's all what they want to sell you. Now, again, we can tell someone's 2-year-old child that you can have a sex change, because those $1 trillion companies can make money off the medication and the doctors off the surgeries. But for this, you don't want to see, because you can't make money off of it.
Make a point.
So speaking of making money,
Yo, boo-boo.
we have some people making money off of relationship books, calling themselves gurus and stuff. Here's the thing. Derek Jackson. I followed him years ago when he was promoting his cards, the cards that he used to have, like playing cards to start conversations, whatever they were called.
No, okay.
I was like, this man is fine, muscles. But then I saw that child seat in the back. I said, he got a kid? I was like, ooh. But I couldn't tell if he was married or not, because I was like, as fine as he is, he must have had a situation and he got somebody pregnant and whatever. Never wore a ring. Didn't know. I remember there was a live he did one day, and I think he was talking about people all the time suspect he's married to a white woman, and he was like, no, he's married to a black woman. I remember him saying he was married, so I always knew he was married. Why other people didn't know he was married, I don't know, but I remember he clearly said he was married. I thought he kept her hidden because he didn't want people in his personal business like that, but then I thought that was weird, because if you're good in your relationship and you're giving out advice, it would be great to see you and your wife together at some point. Whatever, I stopped listening to him. Then all this BS comes out that he's been cheating the whole time, that they haven't been married long, but throughout their entire relationship, he's been with other women.
Yes.
So, how it all started, he was exposed. And then he came out and said, oh, well, these are lies. Well, then as he was on live talking about how these were lies and that he may have had, a sexual conversation with someone, but it wasn't physical. I love our people, because you know why? We're so smart. We pay attention to timelines. We may not pay attention to our work. We may not pay attention to school, but damn it, if you give us a timeline, we come back at you hard. So he was forced to actually come out with his wife to tell all the dirt because his timeline wasn't adding up. All right. So you guys were together since college or whatever. You got her pregnant. You had the first baby, but she was pregnant again with the second one, and then you popped the question. All right, but you've been cheating this whole entire time. Now, if you go on her Instagram page, people are like, why she look like that? She looks sad and all this other stuff. No, she don't. I told somebody, if you look at her Instagram page, that's how she look all the time. She must have been dressed up maybe once or twice. That is how she looks. That's just her perception. That's her.
Oh my God.
So, no, she doesn't look sad or anything. She looks content. That's how she looks.
Oh my God.
So she came out and said that she left once she found out he was cheating. The only reason why she came back was because he was speaking right. He was speaking her love language, God. That's what you call being manipulated. He knew the words to say because if she goes, his brand goes, okay? So he knew what to say. This man ain't never put you on camera, but on your page, never put you on his page, but on your page, you post him. And ain't nobody know about you. He out here in the car making videos without you. Tasha K, God bless her soul, blogger. She came out and said, either you tell her or I'm going to tell it. I was like, what the hell, there's more? So I listened to the audio of the latest mistress, the current mistress. You said, sir, you found God. And you was changing your ways. You said that to get her back to save your brand because allegedly you got a deal with TD Jakes for a whole lot of money. And if she goes and if this were to get out, you lose everything. You served your current mistress with a gag order. But see, you served it too late because Tasha K got to her before you served the gag order. So Tasha K was able to come out with the latest interview. So the girl is all into the book. She a doctor. So she didn't know anything about you or your wife until you came out with the video supporting your wife and her being on camera looking the way she was looking. But sir, you supported her outside of the house of your mistress. Because as soon as you got done, you were calling and basically trying to get your mistress back, saying you had to do what you had to do. Let me explain. So you ain't changed your ways. You didn't find God, but you want to keep using God as an excuse, talking about you was saved. Dude, you was not saved. Okay? This is what happened. You, man, you look good. Muscles and everything. You picked the homely looking chick, okay? Because you felt like that was the best she could do. And then you also felt like that was somebody you could control, okay? Meanwhile, you was putting your penis in every other woman because clearly, sexually, she probably doesn't give you what you want or what you need. That's why you're out here with all these other women. But you know you can control her. You sit up here crying, talking about, oh, she left you, and you was upset. It was a really bad time. How bad was it? Because you found a way to take yourself and your other mistresses out, and you was having a ball. But you call yourself a relationship guru. So if you go back to all the tapes, you was really talking about yourself and warning women about you. Meanwhile, people really took you to heart. A lot of women followed you because you look good. That was just it, because you look good. A lot of women was in your DMs trying to get at you because you look good. They wanted to have sex. You probably hit a couple of them up because you wanted to have sex too. At the end of the day, if cancel culture is real, then like Sharon from The Talk, she's gone. Say goodbye to Derek Jackson. He should never make another video ever, 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 ever again. For all of you that are worried about the wife who wants to quote Bible scriptures and stuff, okay? I'm pretty sure the good Lord did not tell her to run her ass right back to his lying behind. The fact that you were with him for over 12 years. The fact that the entire relationship was really a lie. He could talk God all day long till he's blue in the face. Now you know that he still has a mistress. The one that he got knocked up last year. The one that he tried to prevent from getting an abortion. Girl, okay? Seriously. Don't feel sorry for her. She knows what she's doing, okay? She probably staying with him to save face because they trying to make that money. Because now her views have gone up. She's got more Instagram followers. Honey, they're following you just to see the crazy. Okay? Right now, you're the topic of March. Next month, it'll be somebody else and they will move on. Okay? A couple of pictures you have where you got dolled up and you look gorgeous. And I'm like, honey, you need to look like that every single day. But that's not you. I understand. This is you. You want to show your authentic self. Even he don't even look right. Because he guilty. Because the whole time he was sitting there, in the back of his mind, he was thinking about mistress. Okay? Because he had to rectify that situation. Because while he's with you, taking care of the kids, downstairs was thinking about homegirl, okay? Because listen, that's just how he is. Now, whether y'all have a conversation and he's just honest with you and he says, listen, I'm married to you, you have my kids, but I gotta sleep with other women because this ain't happening right here. But I want to stay married to you, but I want to do what I want to do. Have that conversation and then have an open marriage. You was already having an open marriage when you got married. So just make it official. But stop giving out advice. Or use a disclaimer, this is not me, but I'm telling you about other dudes. And other dudes already pegged you for what you were. That's the funny part. And we didn't listen to the men. When the men came out talking about Derek Jackson was a fraud, we thought that they were haters, not realizing they peeped game. And I'm like, damn, all you dudes who we thought were jealous, y'all was just hip to the game and was trying to warn us, don't fall for that. So I want to say on behalf of us women who actually thought y'all was jealous, I apologize. Y'all was right. A moment of truth.
Go ahead. You want to get it?
I'm not in the same belief as the majority of the people out there. I actually want to give this man a round of applause. I want to say thank you to him because women been doing this to men for years and getting away with it. This man finessed the hell out of y'all for years with his looks, his conversation, something women's been doing for years.
Yeah.
Now he got
good woman.
Yeah. I got no sympathy for a man who cheat on his wife. I mean, women just eating it up. That man body count is probably in the hundreds of thousands.
Exactly.
Shout out to you, Jackson. You got, not only were you properly finessing the game, you found a woman that all you got to say is praise Jesus and she ain't going nowhere. Shout out to Mr. Jackson, man. I swear we need to put this man on a pedestal somewhere. We don't need to bash him like this. Women been doing this for years. I do not believe what everyone else is believing. Men hated this man with all they might. But he was smart. He was getting all the women away from y'all back to him so he could have more towards his body count. This is a genius.
Yeah.
This man is a genius. This man has book deals and this and that. And the man was even arrogant enough to react to the video of him and his wife.
Yes.
Get this man credit.
Now, a lot of y'all.
This man going down
in third
with the
person.
ship. You understand
And
me?
said, yes, I'm going to speak in third person.
Yeah. Now,
I'm going down with the, this is a man who truly believes in his con. Because that's exactly what it was. But when women do it, it's okay. Just like I wasn't mad when Mary J. Blige's husband wanted alimony. He wanted you to take care of his mother. Women been doing it for years.
True.
Now that a man want to do it as a problem,
I didn't say it was a problem.
I said to society.
I said, listen, I'm not even mad at him because,
you
like,
was
I
mad
didn't.
at him. You were all booed up, and then now you was a little upset. He found the right woman who ain't going nowhere.
I'm saying I don't think people should feel sorry for her because she knows what she's doing.
Well,
Y'all sitting here
here's the
saying, "Oh
thing.
my gosh, she's
No,
being
I feel what
abused,
you're
she's
saying.
this, she's
Here's
that."
what people
No,
have
she
to
knows what she's
understand.
doing.
Unless someone is physically holding her at gunpoint, whatever, your actions is yours. I don't feel sorry for anyone.
No.
Because I'm telling you right now, the man told you all about himself.
Yes.
If man's been cheating, he said the man has been he's been cheating on you from the beginning. He's been doing it many times.
Now this is what I predict. He gonna show up on Dr. Phil. Hear me out.
Dr. Phil?
Might
He's
not
gonna show up on
maybe
Dr. Phil. I think he should.
it'd probably be better than that. It'll be Ayana. Because
I
this
think
is
that's fixing
this
wives
is her
anymore.
last
She's not-
season.
This is her last season.
Well,
She's
no,
not-
but you're right. But just imagine. Here's
do
the
a
thing.
special episode of this.
You could do a special episode,
TD Jakes will get in this.
killer ratings, because this $200,000 deal with TD Jakes is done.
Yeah.
It's done. You can forget about that. He can't save that. All right. You check anything in this man's social media, his wife ain't nowhere there.
The only reason why it's done with TD Jakes is because he came out saying that he was saved. So really, you're mocking God because you talked about being saved, but you're not saved if you ran to your mistress to save that. Like, he must really be into this mistress.
No, she's financially Come on, you didn't hear what I just said?
The mistress
This woman
had the
is
wife
a
beat.
surgeon.
Hands down. He even
She's
said
a
that.
surgeon.
And she even said that in the thing with Tasha, because I sat there and listened to that whole 15 minutes too.
You should have texted me.
I
We was
sat
up
there and
together.
I listened to that thing. I think it was Thursday or something on a whole thing, and she was like, "He don't even like girls. He like thick girls like me." And he was talking about how bad she was. If you're sitting here talking to your mistress about your current wife, or about your current lady, whatever she is, you don't like that girl.
Shout out to Jackson.
Yeah, you don't like that girl.
Man, I'm gonna send you a plaque of you did it, homie.
For his brand to
Finessed it.
succeed, he needed his wife. He needed his
Well,
wife there.
yeah, he needed his wife, but I'm saying the people were rallying around the wife, and I'm saying, one, that's how she looks every day. That doesn't change.
Nah.
Number two, she can't make herself look good, but looking good and having a good box are two different situations.
I had a good
Yeah,
laugh.
that's completely
'cause
true.
That's
true,
one
too.
of the jokes, it was funny. He's like, nah, I need you looking homely. Just wear that, yo. The memes and videos that been coming off of this have been hilarious. I want to thank you for the laugh.
Yeah.
Was one chick was like threesome. She said, "Well, I like getting dogged out," and then look on her husband's face. Oh my gosh! Yo, shout out to them. But again, I really want to say this. This is a man who's been playing the system to his favor for years, and unfortunately, what he got greedy, because if you look at all of his mistresses, they were successful women that were giving him money.
Yeah. And those are ones he leveled up on. 'Cause
Yes.
He used to smash the chicks from the IG
Right.
when he started.
Now, mind
That's
you,
when they was accusing
If
him.
this ain't the greatest pimp in the history of pimpism, and it ain't even a word, to where all those women were giving him money while he was going online and literally telling you women the truth about himself, and you refuse to believe it.
And I heard he was good in bed, too.
I guarantee he good in bed. Ain't nobody sitting. Yo, nigga,
Yo,
you
ain't
don't work
nobody-
out. You don't work out like that for one chick. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I don't care if you married for 30 years. I don't care whatever. When you got a great body like that, and then your spouse is not equal to you, you out there in the streets, or you're about to be.
Shout out to my man right here.
Yeah.
Shout out to
you don't-
Jackson.
It just don't matter.
I ain't hating you, homie. I love what you did. Women been doing it for years.
Okay, Jackson, you have an open invitation. I ain't judging you. Listen, I
Gotcha.
just listened to you. I'm not even mad at you. Honestly, I'm not mad at you because you, your own man, you did what you did. If they fell for it, oh well, that's on y'all.
Yo,
But Jackson, you have an open invitation to come up here.
Men. You understand what I'm saying? Also, I mean, they
I wouldn't say
couldn't wait.
despise. We
man.
saw through the BS.
Alba and Preach, they despised this man.
They did.
And I mean, everybody.
Talk bad
When the
about
opportunity came, everybody jumped on him. So what did everyone do? Everyone went and saw the video that he was talking about, which is in the hundreds of millions right now. Which is what? Patting his pockets. Yeah. Shout out to this genius.
Yeah.
I love this man.
But again, Derek, you are welcome to come up here. I mean, a lot of the things that he did say in his videos made a lot of sense, especially for the women that had low self-esteem, and he was trying to really uplift y'all.
His wife.
So you can't hate on him for giving out certain advice that helps. But at the same, you can't discredit a lot of the things that he did say, regardless of what he did. Listen, that's just like having an actor and, separating, or like R. Kelly, separate the musician from the man. You know what I mean? Separate the guru from the man. Okay, these are two different people. He speaks in the third person. Derek Jackson is not Derek Jackson. Like R. Kelly is Robert Kelly. Like there's two different people.
No, baby, no.
So Derek Jackson is whatever his middle name. What is your middle name? You got a middle name?
Genius. His name should be Derek.
He might be a
Genius
genius.
Jackson.
He
He's a
finessed the
genius.
heck out of
How long-
everybody.
he had like a 7-8 year run.
Yeah.
And I don't think his career is over. I think that he can fake it again.
He can bounce back from
You
that.
know
He can
how
bounce
many-
back from this,
you,
and he
you
will.
mean to tell me you ain't think Mona from Love and Hip Hop ain't call this dude?
I wouldn't go with Mona though. Well, hold on.
He gonna go with whoever. This is a
gonna go
man.
whoever paying.
This
I
is a
would
man
go
who's
Mona.
financially driven.
She got the
How
biggest
you
check.
gonna talk about forgiveness and say if you buy my book, I'll talk
Wait a
about it
minute.
on page
You live in
13.
Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say Atlanta. or-
Love and Hip Hop.
That's Mona, baby.
Okay, but then go on Love and Hip Hop.
I was like,
But I still don't think he should be on Mona. I think what he should do is go through the process, go to Dr. Phil,
Nah.
and then reinvent
Go to-
himself.
Go to Tyler
True.
Perry.
Yeah.
Go to Tyler
maybe
Perry.
one of them.
Tyler hook you up with a nice little check.
Tyler's not, no, because Tyler is a man of faith. Tyler believes in God, and what Derek did,
So does he.
but Derek played.
God
with
says
the,
forgiveness,
Derek
don't
played. It's blasphemy.
Don't
Derek
let
God
played with
says
God.
forgiveness.
Forgiveness. That's the whole.
God
Jesus
says
play.
forgiveness.
Oh,
That's what he
forgiveness.
did before we found out about the third mistress.
Don't matter.
Don't matter. That's forgiveness.
He hadn't slept with the third mistress.
No, no, you missed
No,
it.
the week
No,
of,
you
the
missed
week
it.
of. The
No.
week that this happened, he
No.
slept with the mistress.
No,
The
before.
doctor-
He
No,
slept with her
when
before
this
that.
happened, when this happened, he rushed to the mistress to tell the mistress that he just did it for show. The mistress
Right.
was still in play. He was
But he
telling
didn't sleep on
everybody
it.
he was saved, that he
They slept
found
with
God.
She said he slept with her the week prior.
The week prior, but that's why I said that's the forgiveness point. I was weak. Now, I did all
No, that's
this,
not
and
the
now he comes
forgiveness
back.
point
got a
because he was on
forgiveness point.
camera, but as soon as that was off, he ran to his mistress. That's what she said. As soon as he finished that, mind you, after this, he made another video supporting his wife. He was outside the mistress's house
I
doing
remember
it.
that. She was like, "That's my balcony in the back."
Yes,
Yeah.
because he was still trying to get her to talk to him because she didn't want to talk to him no more.
How she
Because
don't
he
want
made
to talk
it
to
seem
him, but
like
he
he
on
and
her
his wife were
balcony?
over.
That man was laying some serious. Derek, nigga, you's an idol, homie.
He's having
You
raw
saying?
sex and getting her pregnant. Hello.
This man is an idol.
Yeah, well, that's kind of on her because after 2 weeks, she was
No,
like, "Y'all was
but
fucking,
see,
man."
I'm like wondering if she said yes to the baby, what were you gonna do?
he was gonna keep it.
He was gonna, so how was that gonna work?
She's
do
a
you mean?
professional. His wife isn't.
What? Not see. Well, to Truth's point, this is what you're missing with TD. Even with TD Jakes, he was gonna trade up. He was gonna quietly divorce this wife. Would have been easy.
Easy.
And then now, since nobody ever saw his wife,
She wasn't
Give it up.
supportive.
My
She
wife's
wasn't
adopted.
supporting my
Yeah,
career.
Exactly. Jesus told me to find the one. Get out of here. And you laugh, but that's it.
Okay,
I
okay.
support my kids.
So
I
now
believe
who
in
should
other
be so who should navigate this reality show?
I
You're
think he
saying
needs to go
Mona
to.
should?
He needs to go to
If
Ayana.
whoever got the biggest
Either
bag, he's
either
gonna
that
go
or
with.
Oprah. Oprah
Why
will
not
bring him the most
doesn't
money.
TD Jakes still do his show or no? Or did I miss
TD,
it?
I don't think this is up TD. No,
I think
because
he
if
need
you
to-
paid
He
attention
need
to
to
what
say
he
this.
said.
He need to do Oprah.
Nigga
This
say
is why
this.
he can't do TD Jakes.
He need to do
because in
Oprah.
this video, he specifically said he found God and he was saved, right?
Okay.
But that's a lie because you ran over to your mistress to tell your mistress that was just for show. He had to do that to save his brand. I'm trying to be with you. So in theory, you got your wife back, but the reality is you really want the doctor.
Yeah,
That's
she
my
doesn't want
point.
the
So look, TD Jakes
Divorce
to
her.
save that.
So right now, overlooking Derek is for you to be honest with yourself and the situation. If the doctor looks bomb, we can't see her because she got a career. She don't want anybody affecting that.
Right.
We get it. But if she look as bomb as what you used to look like, then if that's what you want, then go for it because she seems to be the main chick that you're really interested in. And if that's the
Yeah.
case, if she could keep up with the fake eyelashes,
Shout out to
and the
everybody
nails.
making bonnets. I heard them stock went up 5,000%. Everybody was on the bonnets.
Yo, they said that was a hat. Oh yeah. I was like,
That was a hat. I don't know why they kept calling it a bonnet. It was clearly a hat. But that's, again,
Why
if you
would
look
you
at
let
all
your
her
wife
pictures,
go on social media that was the first time ever?
that's her style.
On your no, I'm sorry. As a man who truly cares about his woman,
Let's pause real quick, and I'm gonna ask an honest question. How the hell would you expect them? Let's say we didn't know nothing about no cheating. Those two together, looking at this picture, they don't look like a couple that's gonna last. I would never say that because one, he outdressed her in every fucking part of it. I know he's stepping out just because he looked all white toothed and pearly smiled up and a fresh cut and a fresh nice
I was just
fitting.
about to say he just left the barbershop.
Yeah.
I
And
think
she looked like I just woke up in the morning.
because that's how she, as told you, if you go through all of her pictures,
No.
that
All
is
her
how
pictures are
I'm just
she
saying, if you saw
looks.
them without, we
All
didn't
her
know
pictures
any of
aren't
his
like
cheating
that.
stories, and we saw them, I'd be like, oh, so he about to leave you soon, huh? Or he's stepping out. You
Well,
wouldn't
that's
know
what
that.
that's what the mistress said. She couldn't understand why
would
they
those two
were
be together?
together
Yeah.
because their personalities don't even match. Like he picked her because it was safe. That was a safe way to go. And it took him years before he even popped the question. And it took another child before he even popped the question. So
Do we know any background on her? Like, does she have come from money or something?
no,
Or
she comes from a
anything?
Christian family.
I mean, like any cash to like support him so he can. Level
No,
up?
he was the one with he was the one who got the cash. He bought her the house. He bought her the car.
Once he started getting big
yes,
on the brand.
that was
Yeah,
all
yeah,
him.
Smart.
Yeah, man. I don't
She
know.
said if it was about the money, that she wouldn't have left. But she left. She didn't care about the money because she was done.
Wait,
Girl,
wait till you hear
bye.
this child support new cases that she about to put out on him.
You
I
can't-
mean, you
it's
know
hard to
what?
track PayPal,
He's so
just want y'all to
smooth.
know.
He probably wouldn't have to pay child support. And if I were him, if I were him,
Yeah.
I would get joint custody. And if I were him, and I'm pretty willing to bet everything is in his name.
Oh, I guarantee.
So she doesn't own anything. He has all the
Guarantee.
control.
Guarantee.
And I think in Georgia, if it's in your name, it's yours if you divorce.
Look, man, it's tough. I would never expect them to last. And down in Georgia, talking that slang, you know how many chicks be on? Come on, man.
Like, he's in
Come
butt
on.
every day. So,
Come on. Pastor's cheat, reverend's cheat. Don't be in here talking about the good book. And you sitting in there like, yeah, you know.
anyways, we'll see what happens next week. Peace. I don't know why, like...